Welcome, everyone. This is Our Souls Speak. We're in constellation in divine space. We convene with our souls to listen, share, and explore. Our Souls Speak, a podcast where together with our guests, we embody the soulful principles of oneness and sourceness. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Our Souls Speak. I'm pleased to introduce you all to our guest today, Jane Redpath. Jane, you are a visionary for an emerged golden earth. You're an author, a yoga teacher, and an alchemist. You had a very transformational journey to Mount Shasta in 2015, which really informed your wonderful book that you created, entitled Realize Your Diamond Self, A Journey Back to Wholeness. And currently you're creating the workbook. It should be out, I think, in a few weeks. That is an attachment to this book that you had. Today, your topic is Realize Your Diamond Self, The Pathway to the Heart. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you so much, Greg. And it's so lovely to be here with you all. And I'm very excited and very honored to be amongst older friends and those that I've got to know more recently. So it's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we met just this April in Glastonbury, and I was so touched by your kindness. So that really speaks to your topic today. I think for our listeners, can you maybe first start explaining what the diamond self is?
So the diamond self is about coming back to ourselves in a world that heavily focuses for many on an outward experience. Realize Your Diamond Self is an invitation to come back to self. We can only really do that through spending time alone and getting to know ourselves better. It's a structure, it's a diamond template. What I've come to realize, because of course it's been my journey, and then I'm now sharing that as a diamond template, which is in effect a template for New Earth. The diamond consciousness is supporting that. I mean, everybody or most know that the diamond is the hardest stone on the planet, and it has its equivalent in consciousness. And so it particularly speaks to those with stubborn patterns, self-limiting thoughts and patterns that keep them stuck in a way of being and doing. What Realize Your Diamond Self does is it takes you through a journey of 6 pillars of light that shine on 18 facets of human behavior, which humanity is being asked to transmute into higher light qualities to come back into our self-mastery. And once we've broken down that old paradigm, what then happens is that we start to awaken to the gifts within. So once we've broken down the old paradigm, what are we left with? We're left with our glorious, magnificent light selves. And then, of course, we know who we are and we have the courage to be who we are. That's the journey, really, in a nutshell.
I'm really curious because I haven't heard the story completely about your very transformative trip to Mount Shasta. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank you, Greg. Thank you. And every part of me is excited when I think about Mount Shasta and recall. And I'm just dying for the next call back. But of course, I'll go back when I get called back. So I'd done a Lemurian attunement earlier on in the year 2015, probably guided. So I was attuned to Lemurian energy. And initially I thought the calling was South America, like Ecuador. Then it was like Mid-America because my name's Redpath. So I thought, oh, it's the Native American link. And then I got moved up to Mount Shasta, which I'd never really heard of. And so off I go, sold my flat, and everyone around me thought I was a little bit, mad, but that's absolutely fine. Par for the course. And then headed off for 2 months to Mount Shasta Shasta and had a magical time. So connected with Telos, the inner city of light within Mount Shasta, and then really opened up more into the Ascended Masters and the Seven Sacred Flames, which is written by Aurelia Louise Jones, and really immersed myself in the teachings of the Ascended Masters. And the doors just kept opening while I was there. I mean, I met some very interesting people, had some amazing experiences. And it's interesting because I was definitely guided whilst I was in Mount Shasta, a bit like I'm living in Glastonbury at the moment, that my energetic field remained immersed for a whole solid 2 months. That's what they wanted. And I was coming up for 50 at the time, and there was a shift in my human biological makeup which stood for an end point, within my ability to reproduce. So I was at just that age. Then I awoke to was this ability to reproduce through Realize Your Diamond Self, which of course then started to come through me in about 2017 through being in nature, long walks in nature, that words started to come through, and then the book I was learning as I was going along. So that's it, really.
Well, you've shared a lot there, and it's I can understand much of it, but I'm just wondering if you could expand a little bit about Lemurian, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners don't know what that is, and then what the community that you say that is a part of Mount Shasta experience, I think of that, like how that affected you.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. I mean, what I say to people to take things through your own heart, because, my understanding and appreciation of Lemuria, and whether it's at a mind level or a heart level. So I experienced Lemuria as an advanced ancient civilization that coexisted around the time of Atlantis. They were slightly different, and perhaps Atlantis was focusing more on very advanced light technology in different ways, whereas the Lemurians, which I resonate more with the Lemurians. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was in Atlantis, but I've got a strong Lemurian pull, which hasn't really been fully revealed to me. It gets revealed in a divine timing. They just had a slightly different way of doing things in my experience, but what they were is very advanced with telepathy, community, and in the inverted commas so-called fall, as in Noah's Ark, or however people want to experience that. There wasn't really ever a fall, but in the fall, which actually when I connected with someone online, I went back to what I perceived to be the fall, which is where I literally felt myself falling. I guess in a way, the way I see it is that everything as I knew it was pulled out from underneath my feet. I've got a Lemurian seed crystal that's been passed down to me in this lifetime that I had in Lemuria, and it's got the beautiful striations on the crystal which reveals itself. The last time I had a big reveal was at Lizard Point in Cornwall, which I know Lorna knows well, where I was given some information. So I believe at that time that a number of Lemurians stayed within Telos, and they are there now, and then others dispersed different ways, some passed on, and the Lemurians, some of them are my guides. And as I say, more reveals coming up, and I'm dying, in inverted commas, to know, not too quickly dying, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I know it's a big piece for me, and I think that will be revealed in time. But the way I see it, Greg, is that Adama, the high priest, as in Telos, with others, is working closely with the Ascended Masters, the galactic community at Shasta.
It's truly fascinating to me, because I believe that we are remembering those talents that they developed, like telepathy and other ways of communicating at this time. How does that resonate in what you write?
I'm still kind of understanding how it all comes through, and I do feel it is a channeling. And the reason I know that is because when I read it back or experience it back, it's a higher state of consciousness than my personality self.
How does that wisdom of Lemuria and the way they communicated and lived relate to what you have written in your book?
Yeah, that is beautiful. And I love your question there, because one of my, in inverted commas, strap lines is living your diamond essence. What I feel is that, well, the second book, which is Awakening the Experience Within, it's a guided prompt journal. what they said is that it's in effect devotional living. And I feel that much of humanity has lost that ability to really be in the now and be in the present and live devotionally. And I feel that the Lemurians and the Ascended Masters are reminding us that that is the way to live. And in effect, the book that's just about to come out, which is the Guided Prompt Journal, I've been in two minds as to if it's an experiential guide or a guided prompt journal, and it's either or. In effect, what I love about it is that it's our own daily life that offers the initiations back into self-mastery. You know, in perhaps previous lifetimes, you know, we may well have, many of us have done that. It's gone to the pyramids, you know, done the odd initiation, or you know, gone through various initiations in certain situations. And I believe now that what's happened is my guides have said we can do those initiations in our day-to-day life. I've got my journal. I can take the 6 pillars and 18 facets. I use my daily life as it is, and literally I journal on my daily life. So I feel that's the message from the Masters and the Lemurians, because I think what they've realized, and I remember I think it's the Seven Sacred Flames book, constant reminders when I was in Shasta that folk aren't spending enough time on their spiritual path and getting distracted all of the time. And it's good to have a life, but how can I do both then? How can I have a life? Yeah, how can I interact in my daily life whilst adopting this lighter template that enables me to live within the framework or the light work of New Earth? And this is that there is no structure, because it allows the light to exponentially expand. So there is no limitation, whereas the structure many have been in, whether it's through establishment, is stuck in structures. But this is with the infinite light, so there is no confinement.
So living each day in devotion while doing the normal everyday tasks that we have, huh? So it's integrating that beingness.
Exactly. And within that, it's finding the beauty. You know, if we see the beauty in things, the beauty will be reflected back to us. The time when a way of being or doing has expired is that it's no longer nourishing us. So, of course, then it's that continual discernment. You know, am I? And the wonderful thing about Realize Your Diamond Self is it can be with us for the rest of our lives. I mean, it works with the layers, I believe, up to about 4 or 5 wounds. The Masters have talked about this. Not really many wounds. It's just that there's many layers of each wound. So you're just like, oh, I'm here again type thing. So with Realize Your Diamond Self, you just simply go into another layer. When we call in the 6 pillars, the pillars are associated to the days of the week. And there's a whole light structure that works with the parameters of being human, you know, the 7 days of the week. And it's a whole system.
Can you name those 6 pillars for us?
Yes. So first pillar is the pillar of higher will. So it's our divine will, which is on a Monday. The second pillar is the pillar of higher love. So it's more from the higher heart, unconditional love. The third pillar is Wednesday, which is gratitude, which is all about balance. The fourth pillar is trust. The fifth pillar is truth and authenticity, which is a Friday. Trust was on a Thursday. And then, wow, we get to the Saturday, and it's the pillar of joy. And of course, it's transmutation, it's embodiment, transmutation, and freedom. Those are the 3 facets on a Saturday. And then Sunday is, in effect, the day of rest, but it's integration. I love, actually, Lorna's always reminding me, integration, integration, integration. So it's that declaration, it's that commitment to self. It's like, yeah, I've done that this week, and how can I continue to serve self? So that's on a Sunday. We reflect and then we recommit in the in the continually evolving version of who we are. So we're not really necessarily who we thought we were on Monday. You know, we're potentially something different on Saturday. Of course, it's all an illusion, because we are all that we are. So it's a journey back to self, and those many layers back to self.
Yeah, from my experience, I kind of use the spiral, use the diamond into those layers. And so then when we have that integration day, I guess on Sunday, you know, then whatever is in the way of that integration usually rises up for us to then go through those those stages? Are those days, I guess, or those?
Yeah, absolutely, totally. And of course, they all intertwine. And it's interesting, actually, because whilst I've been writing the guided prompt journal, I've been having layer upon layer of my life to this point. It's like it's just literally been coming up like residue, just to be observed, and then literally just gone off, no attachment to it, literally just a fleeting observation, but it's wanted to come to the surface. I mean, I'm still learning, about what this diamond, means to me. But likewise, I think the best analogy is the fact that it's deemed to be the hardest stone on the planet. And it will, I work with an active meditation that I learned actually through Joshua David Stone and one of his books, which is a diamond vortex. So I use this active meditation every day, which is a vortex. So I bring in diamond meditations as well to work with that diamond consciousness as well, because it's about immersion. And I think coming back to whether it's being in Shasta for 8 weeks or like I've been in Glastonbury since January, really coming back into the heart, it's about immersion and coming back to realize your diamond self. It does call for immersion. For a while, I mean, it's 2015 and then 2021 since the book came up, and I think Spirit all the time was saying, Jane, you need to immerse yourself in these lighter ways to recalibrate, reconfigure those old patterns that are still lingering. And so it's really for anyone who has got stubborn patterns, and to gradually cut through them and then to come back to self.
Thank you so much. You're sharing a lot of beautiful ideas and concepts. Would you be willing to take us through a short exercise that maybe relates to one of your pillars, so that we can like drop maybe into the heart and experience?
Well, let's take, what are we on today? So it's the pillar of divine will. So what I can do is, yes, I'd just like to just move actually into gratitude first of all, because of course I just want to refresh that gratitude in my heart for being here and having the opportunity to share about Realize Your Diamond Self, and how that consciousness wishes as a beingness to go out into the world, basically. So I just like to feel that gratitude with my heart, which I am doing. So if you could, wherever you're sitting, if you could make sure your spine is nice and tall, just allow the chin to slightly come down, so you lengthen the spine through into the neck. So you've got a nice straight spine. If it feels okay, close your eyes and rest your hands on your knees. I mean, I'm in what I call easy pose, so that might feel comfortable. Otherwise, if you're sitting down, if you can just place your hands facing up. If you're feeling a bit ungrounded, then face them down. So the eyes are closed, and just bringing the awareness within. So coming within. So just noticing the body. We've been quite outwardly in this conversation, and now we're bringing the awareness inside to our body, this beautiful vehicle that houses our full body system. And just take a few deep breaths. And now we're going to connect to our pillar of light. So just extending a cord, if you like, from your personality self all the way up to your monad, so beyond your soul. And then if it resonates, go as high as you can to your monad. And then now bring the cord back to your heart, into your body, and then all the way down through your base, all the way to the center of the earth. So normally with our pillar of light, if we've been practicing it fairly regularly, it will be like it'll click into place. If we're a little bit unaligned, it might lean over to the left or right, and that's another story. But at the moment, we can always go into that another time. But just keep focusing on that light, going all the way up to your monad, and then all the way down to the core of Mother Earth, and just feel into that light. That light that we're invoking today is the pillar of light for divine will. So it's our higher will. It's where me becomes we. It's recognizing that we are individual and likewise part of the oneness. So just staying with that light. And now becoming aware, we're going to turn into a triangle now. So there's a point from it's either our monad or our soul. That point will come down and make 3 points down near the base of our body. So there'll be 3 points of the triangle at the base. And one of those points is acceptance, which is the first facet. And the second point is ownership. And the third point is empowerment. So without judging, just allowing for that triangulation, if you like, with your pillar of light. So what happens is that our pillar of light shines its light onto the 3 facets. So we might experience those points. Something might come up in our beingness as a shadow aspect of acceptance. For example, we might struggle to let go of control. We've obviously got our facet of ownership and our facet of empowerment. So just allowing, without me using too many words, just allow for any shadow aspect that might wish to come up to reveal itself at each of those points. It might just be one of those points today, and that's more than enough. So whatever comes to mind as a shadow aspect, there is always a light quality that is its counterpart that wishes to be embodied and acknowledged and simply loved. So just noticing that shadow, if there is one. If there isn't any shadow that's come up, just going into gratitude with the light quality and just asking that particular facet if there's anything for your highest good or the highest good of those around you that it would be of benefit to be aware of. But just taking a few more deep breaths, thanking the pyramid consciousness, and now allowing for those points to come back into, however they wish to come back into the pillar of light for divine will, so that they're merging back to become one again. So thanking our pillar of light, the pillar of divine will, the pillar of higher will, and the highest consciousness that is available to us at any point. Thanking the pillar for being with us, having that connection with it today, and that it's always welcome to come back into our consciousness whenever we're ready. So just starting to come back into the body. So bringing the awareness back into the physical body, taking a few more deep breaths, perhaps just wiggling your fingers or wiggling your toes, rubbing your wrists, because we've got all these meridians in our wrists, so it just helps to wake everything up. And when you feel ready, just opening your eyes. And if anyone's still not feeling too grounded, which is generally the case with me because I've got a lot of air, it's just a few taps on the ground, taking an anchor all the way down into the very core of Mother Earth, crystalline core, and just allowing ourselves to feel pulled down. And then if anyone's still not grounded, then I'm just going to do that. It's just rubbing our hands together Great. Thank you, Greg, for that opportunity.
No, thank you so much. I'm so touched by how light has so much compassion for the parts of me that still struggle. And so I think that's a nice segue into the group, because that light is so healing. The source, God, whatever people want to call that, has so much love and compassion for us. So yeah, I just want to take this into the group now and speak to the diamond light and pathway of the heart.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you for the beautiful meditation, Jane.
Thank you, Barry.
I've been blessed to know you for a while and always marveled at your seeing. And I love what you said about when we see the beauty is reflected back. And what I'm curious about is, what do you see as the fullest expression of all of us realizing our diamond self?
Oh, wow. What a beautiful question. Well, my heart, even you saying those words, my heart fills with great joy, which in effect is the sixth pillar, is for each to awaken to who they truly are, fully awaken to their unique gifts, and that we let go, I think, so much misunderstanding and amongst folk would diminish overnight if each realized, awakened to who they truly are. That is my heartfelt wish.
And one more question. For we're each a unique expression of one source. How did and how does your soul speak to you? How do you experience that?
That's a good question. I feel like I'm still learning. I was joking. I think Greg said it at one point about, I certainly did. I've got a couple of journals where it says this journal belongs to, and there's the gap, because because I feel like I'm changing exponentially, that I don't really know. And I think it's okay. It's a bit like I touched on a reveal with Lemuria, with what my soul is fully here for. I think it's, for me, definitely, who's had to let go of control, that element of control, is that I'm a continually evolving self and soul. We've touched on through the teachings, is this concept of fixed design, and that always is something that I can't get my head around in, other than when I'm in meditation, really. And I love that word kindness. I mean, kindness used earlier, and it's so underrated. I feel at its essence, that is my soul. It's kindness, really. I'm learning to be kind in a world that doesn't actually always appreciate kindness, and a world that doesn't trust kindness, which is so sad. But I've come to realize both those things, and that perhaps we can't be the same with everyone. Folk can only meet us at the level that they can meet themselves, and so that I do find I have to. It's not that I'm modern. I mean, this is what I'm playing with a little bit, because I authenticity is an important one, and nobody wants to filter or modify. We can only meet someone where they can meet themselves. So beautiful questions. Thank you, Barry. And it's always such a joy to see you.
Well, I get so many gifts, Jane, from your presence in every sense. And I was on the way here, I was just thinking about this relentlessly cliche question around who are you, what you do. And I was thinking how asking people what is speaking to you, what does your soul say to you, what is your diamond self, how just the potential of those questions. Thank you so much for your wisdom and your kindness.
Thank you, Barry. And thank you for...
We've known each other a while, Jane.
We have, Lorna.
I have. I'm not going to use the OLD word, but no. So grateful to you, and thank you so much for that beautiful, I'm going to say multicolored, multidimensional meditation. It was a great gift. Thank you so much. I'm extremely curious as to what's coming from the field right now after we've been through that exercise. I've just asked your soul and ask perhaps your monad, what's your sense of that at the moment?
I mean, what a beautiful question. And just as you literally asked the question, I got the electricity pylon, and how it's something about the structure at its core, the sort of triangular shape, but then it's also about the lines, which electricity pylons, the light going through that at an etheric level, I would say.
It felt very much as though the meditation you shared for me opened that space in a different way. It felt very expansive and gentle and kind. And particularly as I know you're a big fan of the rays of light, and I know you're a big fan of the rays, I just wanted to give you the opportunity if you just wanted to say anything about the rays and how you're working with them at the moment, how your soul, your monads playing with them.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you, Lorna. And once again, your question is so, brings into my sphere of experience. I just feel really excited. So going back to when actually I was at Shasta, I got so excited about the 7 sacred flames. And I remember jumping up and down on the bed in Shasta. It's about dance because I love dance. I know that more of the rays wants to come through. It feels like an important part of why I'm here. And obviously diamond, has that color within it. It's next. It's like what spirit has said to me as a soul expressing itself, or a human expressing itself. The diamond teachings are ready to go out there. It's needed in the world. It's like, I keep getting these confirmations that it's needed. And then the rays, it's ready for the rays to come through next. It's really interesting with our gifts. I mean, when you listen to musicians, they'll say, I wrote this song in like 3 minutes, like a real, and then others, they'll say it took 3 years. And I think it's like a pathway that we get better at it. So I feel very passionate with having created this pathway for myself, that others, which I do believe is what Realize Your Diamond Self does, is it opens up the pathway for folk unique expression to come through. So I believe that the rays, I'm going to have such fun with that, because when the Realize Your Diamond Self came through, it was a new pathway and a new way of being and doing, which has been quite painful. The rays, I feel like they're really gonna, which is what colour's about, isn't it? It's I'm so excited, and I feel that's a journey that we're all going to explore together through other projects that we're working, Radical Radiance and others at the moment. So yeah.
Thank you, Jane.
What's 3 thoughts, wishes, points of contemplation that you can offer through your work, through your insight, that we could share with anybody listening, wherever they are and at whatever point of consciousness? What's 3 pointers you could give any of us, all of us?
So the first point would be, and this has come easier for some and less for others, but be unequivocally you. This beautiful poetic alchemy that's come through in the journal. And so of course, if I try to do it, because it's channeled, if I try to remember, sometimes I can't always remember. That's its essence. Be unequivocally you. And then another well-known is love what you do and do what you love, which once again is another well-known expression. But are people really honoring that? Are they actually just holding on to what they know so well? And it's time to jump and love what you do and do what you love. And then the third one, I really feel, has to be about the me becoming we. This does take time, and it probably only really in the last few years did I get that. And I think if anyone has really over-identified with their outer world, people pleasing, anything like that, then they really have to come right back to their self first of all, before they can go from me to we. You really need to be able to choose you. You need to be able to say no. And once you can really do that, then we really start to unify, reunite. This would be my third and final point, is that it's a time to honour our differences until we can merge, really fully merge as one, to honour our differences and to be kind in the process.
That is so incredible. A dear friend of mine asked me what the soul speak purpose was, its outcome, and to know oneself, to be that and express that as an expression of love, and find out and connect with others doing the same. I think you've articulated so perfectly, and how much potency there is in you sharing that and our awareness of that. So thank you so much. It's been such a gift to be here with you now, with us, how much more there is to come through us and through this constellation and our constellating with others. So much love to you, Jane.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you.
So I'm being guided to suggest we actually shift the energy of the me becoming we, because it's the becoming that's the problem, apparently. It's me existing as we. If we can take that into the constellation and put it in the wave, and that can be our closing parting gift. A wave turned into a tsunami. Very gentle, graceful, kind tsunami.
Immediately in my head came, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
Thank you.
Lots of love, many blessings. So many colours with you, Jane, always.
It's so colorful.
And new ones. Always new ones.
So thank you. Thank you.
To receive more information about our guests and future events, please visit our website at sourceness.one. We are one.